A Turkish naval warship, TCG Buyukada, arrived at the Karachi port on Sunday, just days after reports of a Turkish Air Force C-130 plane reportedly landing in the same city. The Turkish vessel is expected to remain docked in Karachi until the 7th of May. The arrival of this naval corvette follows a meeting between the Turkish ambassador, Dr. Irfan Nerizoglu, and Pakistan's Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif. In that meeting, the Turkish ambassador reaffirmed his country's solidarity with Pakistan. The Pakistan Navy has said that the purpose of the port call by the Turkish warship is to strengthen maritime cooperation between Turkey and Pakistan. According to the official version, the visit aims to enhance mutual understanding between the Turkish and Pakistani navies. Turkish authorities have also described the visit as a goodwill gesture. But the visit has drawn attention in both regional and global media because of the timing. It comes shortly after renewed India-Pakistan tensions following the Pahalgam attack. There were also reports last week of a Turkish Air Force C-130 military transport aircraft also landing in Pakistan, reportedly carrying military supplies. But that was later denied by the Turkish Foreign Ministry. The Buyukada is the second ship in the Ada-class series of anti-submarine warfare corvettes operated by the Turkish Navy. It was commissioned in 2013. This was part of Turkey's Milgem National Warship Program. These vessels are designed for surface warfare, anti-submarine operations, and patrolling missions. Turkey and Pakistan have a history of military-to-military collaboration. The two countries recently held a joint exercise called the Ataturk 13, which involved special forces from both sides conducting joint drills, which was focused on interoperability. In 2022, Pakistan signed a deal with Turkey for co-production of 4 Milgem-class corvettes. Under the agreement, 2 ships are to be constructed in Istanbul and 2 other ships at the Karachi shipyard. The construction of the lead ship, PNS Babar, has been completed. On the day of the Pahalgam attack, the Pakistani Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif was in Turkey on an official visit. He held a joint press conference with the Turkish leader Recep Tayyip Erdogan, in which Turkey pledged its complete support for Pakistan. Turkey also routinely takes up the Kashmir issue at multilateral fora like the Organization of Islamic Countries, or OIC. At these fora, Turkey openly sides with Pakistan's position on Kashmir, saying that it's a dispute and needs to be resolved as per pending UN resolutions. But it's not just Turkey. Iran too has got into the monkey balancing act. Iran's foreign minister was in Pakistan on Monday to try and mediate in the escalation of tensions between Islamabad and New Delhi. The visit by the Iranian foreign minister Abbas Araghchi was the first by a foreign dignitary to the subcontinent since tensions flared up in the wake of the deadly attack in Pahalgam last week. The visit comes just days after Tehran offered to help ease tensions between the nuclear-armed neighbors. Araghchi has been meeting with his Pakistani counterpart Ishaq Dar, as well as meetings with the Pakistani President Asif Ali Zardari and Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif. He has expressed Iran's support for Pakistan and once again offered to mediate. Foreign Minister Araghchi is also slated to visit New Delhi after his visit to Islamabad. He is slated to meet with both Prime Minister Narendra Modi as well as External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar. So what exactly is Iran's game plan here? Why is it offering to mediate between India and Pakistan, despite knowing fully well that both countries have historically preferred bilateral negotiations without the involvement of any outside mediators? As a neighboring country, Iran has a vested interest in preventing any further escalation between India and Pakistan, which are two nuclear-armed neighbors. It could threaten and destabilize the wider region. By positioning itself as a mediator, Iran is also seeking to enhance its diplomatic stature and demonstrate its role as a responsible regional actor. Stability in South Asia is crucial for Iran's economic interests, including trade routes as well as energy exports. Iran has invested jointly with India more than $300 million in the Chabahar port, which is a crucial waterway entry point for India to access all of the Central Asian region. All of this will be threatened if a full-fledged war were to break out between India and Pakistan. There is also significant energy sales at stake. In 2024, India imported from Iran approximately $1.06 billion of crude oil, mineral fuels, both refined and unrefined petroleum. These were the top imports from Tehran. However, because of international sanctions by the US and by the European Union and the availability of alternative suppliers, India's oil imports from Iran have significantly decreased in recent years. Arakchi, while he's here in India, is also set to co-chair a meeting of the Bilateral Joint Commission along with External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar. The discussions are expected to focus on trade, economic cooperation, and regional security issues. Iran's mediation efforts come at a time when there is ongoing nuclear negotiations between Iran and the United States. They've had multiple rounds mediated by Oman. In fact, recently President Trump had said that the only acceptable outcome is the total dismantlement of Iran's nuclear program. Iran consistently rejects that demand. By engaging in regional diplomacy, Iran may also be hoping to showcase its commitment to peace and stability. It is also hoping that this could potentially have a positive rub-off in its own nuclear talks with the United States. Russia, too, is chiming in with its offer of support and potential mediation between India and Pakistan. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov spoke to his Pakistani counterpart, Ishaq Dar. He's offered to help ease tensions over the Kashmir issue. Last week, he had spoken to his Indian counterpart, Dr. Jaishankar, and made a similar offer. The Russian Foreign Ministry statement, in fact, said that Russia is ready to act for a political settlement of the situation resulting from the act of terrorism that happened on the 22nd of April in Pahalgam in Kashmir, if it is asked for by both Islamabad and New Delhi. This approach mirrors Russia's stand even during the 2019 Pulwama and then subsequently Balakot airstrikes, where Sergei Lavrov at that time too had expressed willingness to mediate if both parties agreed. At that time, Pakistan welcomed Russia's offer, while India maintained its position that it favors bilateral resolution of any issues without any third-party intervention. Russia's mediation proposal serves multiple objectives. Russia is hoping to reaffirm its role as a key regional influencer. It wants to balance its strategic partnership with India, as well as growing defense ties with Pakistan. It also wants to promote stability in a region where it has significant economic and defense interests. Russia today is India's top defense supplier, with more than half of India's defense supplies and spare parts still coming from Russia. However, the credibility of Russia's offer is subject to scrutiny, particularly considering its own involvement in the ongoing war in Ukraine. Critics argue that Russia's position in Ukraine undermines its ability to act as a neutral arbiter or a neutral mediator in conflicts elsewhere.